Imagine walking into the grocery store only to find the food that you buy on a regular basis gone. Empty shelves. People are asking, how are these tariffs going to play a role? Are the prices going to go up? What foods are going to disappear? Stick around to find out what foods are at risk, when you might see those prices soar, and how this is going to affect your grocery bill in 2025. We're going to talk about 7 foods that could vanish off our shelves in 2025. And before we get started, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel and it helps this information reach more folks. My name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. If you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most of all, news and awareness, stuff that you want to know about, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. A lot of people asking, these tariffs, when are we going to see the prices go up? And we're seeing articles like this, USA Today, not if, but when. Tariffs could bring a spike in car, grocery prices, and soon. Also, articles like this, Outlook 2025, what do retailers expect regarding tariffs, high prices, shoplifting? We know that to be true from the past. When things get hard, it may not even be safe to go to the grocery store. Forbes putting out articles like this, how tariffs will impact your grocery bill. People want to know, how much is this going to cost me and what's going to disappear? So let's quickly go over 7 things that you may not see on shelves very soon. And as far as the tariffs and prices going up, and our shopping bill probably gonna cost what they're suggesting, $200 more a month. Now, with all the research I've done, the tariffs kind of equal itself out with the tax savings that is also gonna come. So are we really gonna be spending more in the long run? Maybe more in the front end, but not necessarily in the long end. The research I've done kind of seems like it's gonna cancel itself out. Possibly save us money, but that doesn't have anything to do with the things that might disappear due to the tariffs. First on the list is vegetables. Now, did you guys know that roughly 63% of our fresh produce comes from Mexico? And fruits and nuts, like 50% come from Mexico. Alongside that cold section, I think about meat. Quite a bit of meat comes from Canada as well. So keep fresh fruits, nuts, vegetables, possibly meat on your radar on hard to find. And you know what hard to find means? Prices are gonna go up. What tariffs are we talking about? We're talking about Chinese tariffs, Canada tariffs, and Mexico. And most likely that will have effect on some of these foods. Moving on to number 2, specifically avocados. Now, generally our avocados come from Mexico. So you can bet that they're either gonna be more expensive or not available at all. So yeah, next party avocado dip might be tough to find because I'm talking like 90% of our avocados come from Mexico. So write avocados down on your list. And speaking of parties or people trying to have a good time, number 3 is tequila. So if you're a tequila connoisseur, maybe have a Canadian whiskey that you prefer, these may become hard to find. And the Distilled Spirits Council also says there'll be a lot of jobs at stake with it. News articles says it's gonna hurt the US pretty bad, but at the same time, I think that there's still a lot of spirits coming from all over the world, including a lot made here in the United States. Bringing us to number 4 is sugar. Now this one happens to be in just about everything these days, which could raise the prices across the board for a lot of things. And you have to take in mind that if sugar's hard to find, some products may not be able to be running at full steam. Think about sugar. Nearly in everything. Did you guys know that nearly 15% of our sugar import of 2003 and 2004 came from Mexico? That is nearly 4 million short tons of sugar being shipped to the US, and that was under reduced tariff terms. So if you're in the mind of prepping or being prepared or stocking up, you may want to double down on the sugar before it gets a little bit hard to find or expensive. And for all of you romantic and thoughtful people out there, this year may be a little bit more difficult on finding flowers. So when you're at the grocery store next time and you're looking for flowers for a birthday, an anniversary, or a just because, the selection of flowers might be less as they come a lot from Canada, and that is potted flowers and fresh cut flowers. Number 6 on the list of possible empty shelves, shortages, and increased price is specifically meat from Canada. Now, if you guys are big meat connoisseurs, especially beef, be sure to hit that notification bell because I've got a couple videos coming up soon that's going to give you an option that's better than any other option. Regarding meat with Canada, the US relies a great deal on red meat meat from Canada. The Meat Institute has many members that are concerned about beef and hog imports. And this came from the U.S. Meat and Export Federation, the USMEF, told Meat Plus Poultry. So that means they're talking red meat and poultry, and we already have a poultry issue, we all know that. Staff at the Meat Institute are scheduling meetings with key congressional staff and other government officials to share information about the impact of the tariffs and the relation on live animals and other meat and poultry products. Maybe a good time to get the freeze dryer out, the canning jars, and the pressure cooker. I'll leave a link down in the description below of the pressure cooker that we use. And also a Harvest Right freeze dryer. And the deals, as they always give our community a pretty good discount. But with that being said, notate meat, red meat, poultry, as we thought it was bad enough already, we may see even worse ongoing shortages and price inflation. Coming down to number 7, and you guys probably could have read into this one because we're talking about Mexico. We get a lot of fresh fruit from Mexico. Did you guys know that grocery stores rely on about half of their fresh fruits from Mexico, especially strawberries? So reading into this, it sounds like, yes, it's been said that we'll grow our own. But the problem with growing strawberries such as, that's gonna require a lot of greenhouses and it's gonna be very expensive. So I'm not so sure that we're gonna see anything anytime soon. So that's why many fruits are making the list. We're probably gonna see especially price increases and possible shortages with that sooner than we see a fix. And let me give you the quick bonus tip here for the last number 8, the bonus number 8. The reason I didn't add it to the list is because we already have a shortage, but I'll tell you what, if you guys can get your hands on eggs, I'm gonna give you a tip on how to preserve those eggs here in just a moment. But real quick, here's what the news is saying on how bad the prices of eggs are gonna be and the availability of eggs.
Now we have the latest on egg prices. If you think they're high now, better brace yourself. The price is expected to climb much higher than forecast. Ariel Reshef is here with what to expect. Good morning, Ariel.
Good morning to you, Robin. We are watching this closely. As bird flu persists, the USDA is warning that we could see the price of eggs soar more than 41% this year. That is double the projection from just last month. Officials are trying to contain the virus by killing off infected flocks, but that is deepening the egg shortage. And there are also some reports of shoppers actually hoarding eggs, which can impact the supply. The average cost for a dozen eggs right now is hovering around $5. That's 96% higher than last year. Though McDonald's is now vowing to avoid charging extra for its menu items that contain eggs, Denny's is the latest major food chain after Waffle House to add a surcharge for eggs at some of its 1,300 locations. And small businesses and bakeries we've talked to tell us that it's only a matter of time before they are forced to raise their prices as well. The head of the USDA visited a farm yesterday, and the Trump administration is expected to unveil its plan in the coming weeks to try to contain bird flu and curb these rising costs. Robin?
And Ariel, some people are asking, are they safe to eat?
Yeah, a lot of people want to know this. So in short, the answer is yes, according to officials. You're unlikely to be served an infected egg because the affected flocks are being handled pretty quickly, but experts say it's best to eat your eggs fully cooked to 165 degrees for now, just as a precaution. And a reminder, the CDC says that there have been no reported cases of person-to-person spread of the bird flu, and the risk to the public does still remain low. Robin?
Right. Good to know. Thank you, Ariel.
For most of you, I know that you guys have been experiencing this roller coaster of eggs being available, eggs not being available. And for those of us that are not fortunate to be really, really close to a good source, we see astronomical prices. If you guys are into prepping food, stockpiling food, and preserving food, I have a video showing you guys how to water glass eggs. And if you watch that one, I'm also eating water glassed eggs that's like 8 months later. It does not take any fancy machinery. So if you'd like to stockpile eggs and preserve them up to a year, I suggest you watch this old video of mine where I taught people how to water glass eggs. That way, when the shortage hits hard, you won't be affected. You'll have a whole bunch just sitting there ready to eat. If you guys find value in these updates, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date, because I got a lot more coming down the pipe. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you on the next one.